Every agent that has a prospecting-based business runs into that problem. As you make calls, you get busy, but the calls still have to be made. You guys kicked this off about a little bit over a month ago. What have been the results so far for you guys?
We've had probably about like 10 appointments, and we've walked away with 5 signed listing agreements. So it's been massively successful.
What would you say to someone that's considering hiring, like I said?
It's worth the investment. It has genuinely given us the leverage to be able to scale our business.
I'll record the whole thing.
Cool.
So I want to make sure you don't miss this. So Follow Boss is a great tool, that you can use. Just make sure you distinguish. These are not internet leads, right? When you're putting people, when you guys,
they're all like withdrawn, expired, or FISBO.
Yeah. You should only be putting them in Follow Boss if you've already talked to them.
Okay.
Right?
That's what we're currently doing. Yeah.
That's exactly what you should do. On the internet lead side, they're coming into the CRM unspoken to anybody. So there's a lot of tools in that CRM to like really hit them hard, like 15 text messages in 30 days and emails and all that, like really hit them hard. You don't have that problem though, right? So you should use Follow Up Boss for your like nurture and longer term follow up, right? So that's really that's just it's less. It doesn't have to be as intense. As internet leads, because you got to hit those 10 calls in 30 days, 7 text messages in 7 days. You got to hit really hard. You don't have that problem, right? You've already spoken to these folks, you already qualified them. That's the whole reason they're in the CRM. So a really good use of Follow Up Boss is its email, like newsletter capability, and it's texting, but I'm talking about like a text a month, like one text message per month, right? Like that's it. So you want to be able to set it and forget it, and you should build out. You should go crazy with this thing. You should build out like a 24-month like nurture process, right? And it might involve you guys maybe making a newsletter or something once a month.
I'm super chill. Like I'm excited to do that. Yeah.
And in your market, it's really great to show people like comps, right? Like to be real with them. Hey, this is the like market update, latest, comps in these areas, whatever you want. It can be a really simple newsletter, but you want to just keep them with that value packed, information, right? Like, you want to nurture them with like stuff they'll actually open, which is like comps, which is properties they might like, which is recently sold properties in their neighborhood. That's what you should nurture them with, on a long-term basis. But I always tell folks, Follow Up Boss is great for that really intense internet lead setup. This is not that. Just be sure, because they'll unsubscribe. Once they unsubscribe, you can't get them back. It won't let you resubscribe them, right? So if you just don't go overboard, you have like a steamroller that you kind of only really need like a like a shovel, like you got to like an excavator. You got an excavator? You guys really need like a little more of a gardening hoe kind of thing. So just don't go crazy with because they've got you all this automation building tools and all these amazing things. It's great. The intent for those is the unresponsive internet lead. That's what that's for. That's not you guys. Okay. So that's the biggest mistake I see with the tool that's as powerful as Follow Up Boss. Don't go crazy on it. This is for long-term nurture. I would build out a 24-month, and that way you just drop people in there. Just drop people in there, and they're on the long-term nurture campaign. Set up a task for you guys to reach out to them. I like once a month. You're reaching out once a month. Anyone in the pipeline, you should get touched once a month. Get an email, text, call. Or you can mix it up if they're not if they're not responsive to that. Maybe email and then text and then call. Like you can mix it up a little bit for longer term. But think about it that way. Long-term nurture. Nothing more than that, right?
Okay. Yeah, because we want to incorporate probate leads. And that's a long game, right? Like you're not going to convert those right away anytime soon. So that's good to know that you're mentioning like this could be good. We can tweak it to where it's
I have a client that does, once you get someone into the Follow Up Boss, like the first email that it sends out, I think it's like his resume. They use like the Brandon Morenin, like, hey, I'm going to send you my resume. So they get the resume automated through Follow Up Boss. And it'll send them, like the first 30 days, maybe it'll send them a couple pieces, like instead of like maybe 2 or 3 emails, because they're just getting to know them off the bat. And then they just fall back to monthly, right? And if they're really long term, they'll fall back to even like quarterly, like to just not overdo it early on.
Overwhelm them.
So maybe you might have like a 24-month, and maybe like a long-term nurture, like a really long-term folks in there. But I like a touch every single month, and you can mix it up. Call, text, email. Mix it up. It doesn't have to be the same thing every single month.
Okay, got it. Kristi's taking a little bit longer than I expected, so we could just get to it, and then she can watch the recording.
Great. So I'll do a quick intro. I'll kind of set up the conversation. And I'll just ask you kind of, hey, what kind of results have you guys gotten, and we'll talk about that, and then, shouldn't take too much of your time, right? So cool. All right. I'll do a quick intro. All right, folks, we are back. This one, I got a great case study for you guys today. We've got Kia, who is actually, half of a team, Kia and Kristi, but, Kia was able to join us today. They're really busy. Why? Because they've got a lot of listings coming in, which I love. But, Kia is an agent out in Austin, Texas, part of a team. And, they decided to hire an ISA, and we're kind of here to learn a little bit more about that. So Kia, why don't you give us a little bit of the quick intro, kind of
Yeah.
who you are, about your business, and then and we'll segue into the first question, which is, why did you guys hire an ISA in the first place?
Yeah, totally. Cool. So yeah, Kia Potter. And so I'm here in the Austin market. I'm a broker associate with EXP. So I have about 10 years experience. And right now, Kristi and I, we have KP Property Group. What we're really focusing on is withdrawn and expired listings. Our like irresistible value prop, if you will, is helping people figure out exactly what went wrong the last time. And we come up with a plan on how we're going to get them sold the next time since there's such a high saturation of failed to sell listings in the Austin market.
Yeah, 100%. It's the market of the moment right now. Austin was like a big COVID boom town. It's kind of a big
Yeah.
COVID bust town,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of agents struggling in Austin right now. I think you guys have done a really good job at adapting to the market, right?
Sure.
I missed 2021 prices too, and
Yeah,
2021 sales
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
as much as
yeah.
the next guy. But you guys are having success in the market of today, right? And the
Yep,
market of today in Austin and a lot of parts of the country, not just Austin, has a lot of expired listings, right? So that
yeah,
you guys have leaned into that.
totally. Yep, fully leaned into it and just embracing it and just trying to differentiate ourselves from all of the other people that are calling the same list and talking to the same exact people. And so
Yeah,
that's where
I
we're
love
like, hey, how can we scale this and make this something to where we can still go on appointments and still be getting in the dials, right? Because you have to dial, right? And that's when we thought of Power, like hiring an ISA. Kristi actually came across Power ISA. I don't remember exactly how, but she spoke with Chris, who was amazing. He walked us through the whole program, and just kind of, giving us some insight about Power ISA and how you guys have different inside sales agents, maybe from different industries, but we were like really specific, like, hey, we'll wait it out for someone that has some sort of real estate experience, just because that was going to help us with our onboarding.
Yeah, I love that. And that problem you mentioned, every agent that has a prospecting based business runs into that problem. Like if I
Yeah,
make calls, I'm going to get busy. If I get
yeah,
busy, I'm going to stop making calls, or I'll make less calls, right? Like
sure,
every agent that have some success with calling has a version of that problem. What usually
totally.
happens, Kia, is that they get busy and they stop making calls, or they make way less calls, and then they have 2 or 3 really busy months, and then they're back to square one, right? 3 months
Right.
in, because
What do they
they
call it?
didn't
Like
make
the
those
real
calls.
estate dragon tail, where you're just like up and down and up and down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're trying to
100%.
be like
The
up,
roller coaster.
steady incline. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because as you make calls, you get busy, but the calls still have to be made, right? Someone has,
Absolutely.
and so you thought of having an ISA to come in there and basically add leverage, right, to your
Totally.
to your lead generation.
Totally, yeah. And so we lucked out. I mean, we had 3 interviews. We knew like our ISA was the one, if you will, right? As soon as we met him, just because he's super coachable, he's knowledgeable, he is like eager to succeed and win. We spend time every day. And like if we don't have time to role play, he's like, hey, do you have time to role play? Because it just kicks off his morning really good. And in real time, we're able to help him overcome any objections that he's having. So that way he is able to successfully get us some booked appointments.
I love that, and thanks for sharing that because I do a lot of these case study recordings. I
Sure.
don't think there's one I've done where the agent isn't like as involved as you guys are, right? I don't think that's
Interesting.
a coincidence. I don't think that's a bug. I think it's a feature, right? To say this is part of
Yeah.
the package. You're
Yeah.
not gonna have success with someone, especially as fast as you guys have, without being involved, right?
Yeah.
Without, like helping them sharpen the axe, being connected with them every day. I think that's just how that works. And so tell us, you guys kicked this off about a little bit over a month ago, like 4 or 6 weeks ago. What have been the results so far for you guys?
Yeah, I love this question. So we've had probably about like 10 appointments, and we've walked away with 5 signed listing agreements, and all from like different price ranges. Like I have a 1.1, a 1.8, and we got some like nice little condos downtown, near the UT area. So it's been massively successful, and we're like really excited about it.
I love it. I love it. And one thing, that makes me even more excited is that, we were actually offline and we are talking about how to increase your guys' contact rate because I think you're
Yeah.
just scratching the surface. Like, if
Yeah.
we can get you guys talking to even more people, I think those numbers it's already a home run, right? It's already a
Yeah.
great success. But if we get you guys talking to more people, it's gonna be even more. Like
I'll have
you're just getting started.
tears of joy. Yeah, like literally tears of joy.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And can you describe to folks a little bit kind of what that is, right? Your ISA goes in there. Are they calling old expired and withdrawals? Are
Yeah,
they calling the brand new ones that day?
yeah.
Are they handing them off right over to you guys? Are they booking the appointment? Give us a little bit of detail there. I'd love to
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah, yeah. Great question. So, like, magic wand solution for us, our ISA is able to book the appointment for us to show up like within the next 24 to 48 hours. We don't like booking beyond that because, the chances of them canceling increases. So what he does is he runs through our script. He's super curious. He listens really well, right? He's going to summarize back to them all their pain points. And then the solution to whatever objection they give us essentially is the appointment. So then we go on the appointment face to face. We meet them. We go over this like failed to sell analysis that we do. It's a pretty in-depth scenario on like, I'm going to pick apart everything from that previous listing, the photos, photo sequence, keywords or lack of keywords, what was in the description, were there amenities highlighted? Like there's always something that I can find that was missing with either the product, which is the home, right? I can't really like dig in on the promotion, not necessarily know where the agent was promoting it, and then the pricing. And in Austin, like 99.99% of the time it's pricing, which you can't discuss that over the phone, right? Like you gotta like meet these people face to face, see the condition of the actual property. And so, from that analysis, I give them a crystal clear plan on what it looks like to move forward. And I give the seller the leverage. Like you get to decide, and I empower them. You can wait, or we can go ahead and like, rip the band-aid off, do the things that we need to do, get you back on the market so you can get to whatever that motivation was, whether it was death, distress, job relocation, getting closer to the grandkids. It's like me digging in person to take the baton and get it to the finish line. And I would say, our conversion rate, like as of right now, like, I would say like we're kind of like in the 80, 90% of the people we meet with end up, wanting to move forward with us. So I'm excited to see how many of those actually get sold.
I love it. I love it. Because I think that you guys are doing a lot of things right, right? You selected a great person. You've been really involved, in that training process, giving a lot of like consistent feedback.
Yeah.
And Kia, you can close. Like you and Christy, that's the big factor here.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
had if you had that best IFA ever, giving you half a dozen appointments, and
Sure.
you weren't able to close any of them,
Yeah.
it's the full package, right? To get a result like
Yeah.
you've gotten, you need all those things, firing
Sure.
kind of on all cylinders. You guys are the perfect example. You just needed more people to talk to, right?
Yeah. a hundred
You know
percent.
what to do. You know how to get people how to talk to sellers in this kind of environment, this kind of a market. You have a great offer. It's another
Hmm.
really great thing. It's like you have a really good offer that's enticing to
Yeah.
people that tried to sell and couldn't sell. One of the toughest markets, at least I've ever seen in Austin, right? And so
Yeah.
and I've been going to Austin for 20 years. Like it's a great city. My actually I
Yeah.
didn't tell you this. My wife actually did a semester at UT, so
Oh, I
I
didn't know
spent like
that. Very
a good
nice.
chunk of time back in the day, a few years ago, going to Austin, just a
Yeah.
beautiful city, right? And then I've
Yeah.
been there a little bit more recently, and just the tech boom, and just a wonderful place,
Sure.
right? And there's a lot of opportunity there. It's a
Yeah.
great town, and when the market shifts, people panic, agents go nuts, and some agents kind of put their head down and just get opportunity, right? Even when the market is
Sure.
shifting, there's always
Sure.
opportunities there, and I think you guys have done a great job at that, right? Gain some leverage and you
Yep.
just needed more people to talk to. So Kia, one last question. If
Yeah.
you are talking to somebody that's on the fence about this, right? They're not sure. Maybe been burned in the past with a virtual
Hmm.
assistant, didn't work out, or
Hmm.
they're skeptical that someone can make calls. It's a really, intimate part of the process, right? That talking to the seller,
Hmm.
they're not sure they can hand that off to someone. What if it doesn't work out? If they're being really on the fence about it, they're being cautious about it. What would you say to someone that's considering, hiring an ISA?
Yeah, yeah. I would say, I mean, believe it or not, it's worth the investment. And not just financially, like you mentioned, not very many, or maybe like not as many people are spending as much time with their ISA, right? So that helps me feel confident to where I don't have to like have my claws on like every little thing. I'm able to hear the recordings. If there's something that needs to change, that's totally fine. And it has genuinely giving us the leverage to be able to scale our business. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like in 12 months from now. Because this is like, if you think about the one thing, this is the one thing that's going to help us have massive success. So I would say it's totally worth it. Do it.
Awesome, awesome. Kia, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I know you run a busy operation. You guys are really busy right now, and
Yep.
this is the down season, by the way. I don't know
I
if people
know.
know this. How
Yeah,
seasonal a place like Austin really is. It doesn't really snow there, but it gets really cold actually.
it does. Yeah.
So people, this is a very like spring and summer driven market. You
Yeah.
guys are sending listings right now in November, right? So I love
Yep.
that. I love the hustle. I love what you guys are doing. I know you're setting up a massively successful 2026. I can already see it.
Excited for
All
sure.
right.
Super grateful.
Awesome. Thanks so much.